Mike, you just watched Knaresborough Town win 2-0 against a really resolute Forgeway. Is it fair to say the first half you looked rusty and Forgeway were probably the better team?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Take nothing away from Forgeway, and I'm not going to make excuses by saying that's our first game in a month, but it all played a little part in it. We were very lacklustre, second to the ball, lacked that desire to really affect the game, and Forgeway were superb in the first half. Counter-attacking was phenomenal.
As you say, they seem to be snappier into the tackles, they're winning the 50-50s and in many ways controlling the midfield. Did you see it as the midfield was your problem in the first 45?
Yeah, we just couldn't get to grips with it. Midfield and the front three were a problem. There was a bit of lack of movement, especially when we were on the ball. It was just too passive, and no one really making any decisions to make a difference in that final third. And it then just ended up with us just putting balls into areas which we didn't compete or win, and it was coming back quickly.
You said you didn't want to use it as an excuse that you haven't played in November. We're on pretty much the last day of November, and this is the first time you've played. Even though you don't want to use it as an excuse, it certainly looks as though there was perhaps a little bit of ring rust there, where you weren't flowing and transitioning from the back through midfield up into attack.
Yeah, that's right, and we were real rusty today. We were probably being 2 or 3 yards off it. It's probably being kind in some instances, but you know, we can train as long as you want, but it doesn't recreate that intensity that a match does. And it's that speed of thought. We were really reactive in large parts of the first half, and that put us on the back foot just through us not being at it.
Second 45 completely different. Right from the off, you pushed up. You seemed to have much more control of the midfield, and everything then flowed through that midfield. How satisfying was that?
It was a great turnaround. You know, first 45 we made 3 or 4 changes. We'd kind of laid down the law in terms of what we wanted to see second half, and the prerequisites of intensity, recover and rest, get set, get everything up to the standards that we expect, and we started to see that, hence why we probably dominated large parts of that second half.
It's fair to say that Forgeway's keeper had an absolute blinder of a game. Probably the few half chances, and actually quite good chances in the first half, were snuffed out by her to make sure that you didn't go in 1-0 or even 2-0 in the first half. In the second half, again pulling off some magnificent saves. Yeah,
Meg was superb. She just got herself in the right position at the right time. Even on one-on-one, she spread herself really well, going down low to collect at feet. And you know, even when we thought we were favourites to probably score, her determination and just sheer positive attitude pulled her through. She's brave, and yeah, she had a really good game.
How relieved were you when you saw the first goal go in?
Very relieved, you know, because the longer the game goes on, I'm thinking, you know, we need to be more creative, and we might need to take some risks if we want to get a really good result out of this. But I was really relieved. Cass had timed the run pretty well, and the finish was superb. You know, Cass is more than capable of doing that on a regular basis, and it's something we want to see her do more of, because she's definitely got it in the locker. But it was a superb strike at a great time.
Are we saying a strike, or is it one of Cass's crosses or strikes?
No, that's a strike. Yeah, it was too high up near the 18-yard line to be considered a cross, so it's definitely a strike.
She's probably now swearing at this recording and going, "It was a strike."
It was a strike. I tell you, it was a strike. Yeah, I'll give her a strike.
At that point, you were clearly in the ascendancy. You were controlling the midfield, and it was, for large parts, attack against defence. I suppose the second goal was always going to come at that particular juncture.
Yeah, we were creating some really good half chances, to be fair, after the goal, and Forgeway were kind of penned in. They still looked dangerous on the counter attack when we were kind of out of balance a couple of times, but it was only a matter of time when we got that second.
As you say, they did look dangerous when they got forward. When they got forward quickly or bypassed the midfield, they put the likes of Jess and Sarah under a little bit of pressure. Yeah,
they did. They asked questions, and you know, that's what you want teams to do. especially when it's predominantly attack versus defence. The defenders have to be switched on, and they can be cold. So I was really pleased to see how we recovered and we got bodies around the ball. Charlotte and Sarah was superb. Jess Flynn in the middle of the park on the recovery was phenomenal today. So I think it's real credit to those players just to stay switched on, organised and calm when we broke it down.
How important are the 3 points in the race for that top spot?
All the points are important. It's really important. We try not to drop points where we think we should really be winning. I think that pressure is on us and the expectancy is on us. So it's up to us to deliver, and that has to drive us on. So everything's still in our hands, still a long way to go, but we're in with a really good chance if we keep putting points on the board.
I mean, it's always traditionally a extremely difficult league to get out of because it's typically one team that goes up from this. There's a lot of pressure on yourselves, Thackley as well, and even when you look at teams that are further down the league like Forgeway, there are no easy games in this league.
No, and that's the beauty of the Prem. This is what we wanted for such a long time at this club, to be in competitive games that weren't kind of walkovers, and that's not being disrespectful. That's just what it was, and every game you have to turn up, you have to compete, you have to be organised, you have to be brave to play, and you have to be ruthless to take your chances. If you're not, or you come in halfway through it, it's difficult. It's difficult to recover, so it's important for us to keep the standard.
And the other problem I suppose you face now is because you've not played much in November, and December usually being the way it is, with one, weather, and two, the fact that the league plays 1 or 2 games in December at most, and then you have a break until sort of mid-January. I know I'm generalising a little bit there, but you typically have 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks off, depending on cup responsibilities of the various teams in the league, and also just the scheduling. Is that a little bit frustrating for yourself?
Yes, it's frustrating because we've just had 4 weeks off through no real fault of our own, and certain things out of our control, the weather, teams unable to field sides. It's really frustrating, something that we didn't expect in the Premier League. And that's kind of robbed us of momentum in essence, and December's just around the corner, and I think we've just got to get as many points as we can leading up to the break, and then hope the players look after themselves when Santa comes calling and we're back at it in early January. So that's what we've got to hope, but that's the same kind of break for all the teams, so we're all on the same kind of level playing field, and we've just got to make sure we come back as professional as we can.
If we had to call a player of the game for both sides, I suppose it would probably Megan in Forgeway's goal would be up for that. Certainly in my opinion she would be, because she had an absolute outstanding game. Make it slightly easier for you. Your player of the match for Knaresborough Town?
Jess Flynn. She was probably one of the only players in the first half who really come out with any credit, and she maintained and excelled that in the second half. That's just due to the intensity being higher around her. She played higher. So Jess Flynn, without a shadow of a doubt today.
And goal of the game?
It's a toughie, isn't it? Castlane, what a finish, and some opportune finishing from Lorna, catching Meg just out of the box and putting it into the bottom corner. Had
to beat the centre back as well, just to position herself to be able to get that around both defender and keeper.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Castlane. I think a few things. The finish was superb, and we know she's capable of it, but it was also the timing of the goal and the momentum that it created off the back of it. I think it was just one of those moments that we're going to look back on and think that was it.
That's another 3 points. It's another 3 points in your quest for that top spot. It's too early. Nobody wins a title or promotion in November, let alone December or even January, but it's a vital 3 points. It's a good way to sort of go into the festive period, I suppose, in December, and you'll be hoping perhaps another 3 points in one of the next games, and I believe you've got Thackley coming up soon.
Yeah, we've got a couple of we've got a cup game next weekend against Golker away. That's never an easy tie to go to, and they are getting better, Golker. Nathan there, we speak quite regular, and he's quite excited for the future, so it'll be a test Gulker in the Cup. And then we've got Thackley to end our December schedule, which will be here at Manse Lane on the 15th of December. And again, Thackley are a superb side. We know what they're going to bring, we know what they're capable of, and we've got to make sure we're as prepared as we possibly can coming into that break.
I'll be cheeky. Is that a title decider?
I think there's a lot of football to be played, and there's a lot of permutations. There's a few good teams in this league who have gone through probably sticky patches, if I'm being honest, in the early days. Leeds Meds are a good side. Silsden, when they field a full strength side, they're a decent side. They play some good football. So there's still some questions and some bumps in the road to come. Definitely not a title decider from where I'm sat.
Well, good luck for that, and congratulations on 3 points.
Thanks, Mark.